Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Greet you with the greetings of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As far as the name is concerned, then my name is Bilal Davis. I'm commonly known and well known among many as Abu Hakeem. Abu being the father of Hakeem, being my oldest son. And I was born and bred in Birmingham and raised in Handsworth Lazar's area, and I embraced Islam and became a Muslim some 20 or so years ago, embraced in 1991. Allah afforded me the opportunity to go away and study for 10 years. I studied in Medina for a period of 10 years, and I've been now through a journey from the time that I embraced Islam to now that I thank Allah and praise Allah the Most High for, because it's been a very beneficial and an action-packed life. So after coming back from Medina and after studying from 94 to 2004, returned back to England, and I'm just continuing upon a journey of just studying and trying to gain beneficial knowledge and benefiting people as much as possible. I'm the Imam in a local masjid and a local mosque in Birmingham, and I also have my own community organisation where we mentor youth and mentor young ones, an organisation known as Inner City Guidance. As I say, for the most part, my concern is just trying to benefit as many people as possible. If there was anything that I would advise the youth with, and in honesty, the subject of the youths, particularly here in England, in Britain, is something that is, it's one that's dear to our hearts, because really we love the youths, we love them, and it hurts us to see the state and the change and the breakdown that's going on among them. But if there's anything that we could advise them, and I would advise them with, is I would advise them in all honesty to reflect upon, first and foremost, the fact that each and every one of us is going to face that which is inevitable. It's not something that people are going to talk about. It's not something that is fashionable to talk about, because oftentimes we hear be young, be foolish, but be happy. But really, the reality is there's every last one of us, if there's anything that we share, if we're from different backgrounds and we have different cultures and what have you, but if there's one thing that we share, is that each and every one of us is going to die. Each and every one of us is going to pass away. Some of us could pass away this evening. Some of us, it may be that we live for another 50 years. But the reality is that our lives are short. We don't have much time on this planet. We don't have much time on earth. And the Prophet Muhammad made a statement, and it's a narration that's authentically attributed to him. And that is that he mentioned that the average life of any individual is 60 to 70 years, and few are those who go past that. Now, right now that the average life of many of the youths is probably much less than that. That is, as far as the possibility, those who are living the road life, the possibility of them losing their lives in different ways, even just in confusion. So our Messenger Muhammad, that doesn't oppose what the Messenger said in any way. Our Messenger Muhammad informed us of the fact that the average life of anybody is 60 to 70 years, and few of the people on earth who live after the Messenger Muhammad, few are those who go past that. So looking at that, and then looking at and analysing the fact that for the most part, most people, up until the age of probably 15, 16, really spend their life in play and frolic and amusement. Few people, even up until the age of 20 and above, concentrate on something, on anything serious as it relates to their life. That all of that period they use, just wasting time for the most part. Then that means that 60-year average life is cut down to 40. Now, if you take from that the fact that maybe more than a third of that which remains from that 40 years is used and taken up in sleep, then you've got another shorter period of time. Then you look at what remains from the third of that 40 years, and then consider the fact that a big portion again is taken up with a person pursuing sustenance and pursuing, you know, welfare and pursuing just some wealth, then you've got a short period of time really that you can dedicate upon carrying out what you were created to carry out, and that is to worship your Lord the Most High. Every single one of us is looking for the best for himself. That's the bottom line. And the best thing that I can advise any youth with is concentrate upon the fact that we're going to drop out. Number one, and we don't know when that is. Number two, that we're created beings, and that we need to ask ourselves, when we stand before our Lord and Creator, what is it that I can at least argue my case in front of him with? What is it that I did for him? And to be honest with you, that's one of the things that I had to ask myself. I had a reality check before I embraced Islam, that if I were to die now, if I was to drop out right now, what would my argument be with my Lord? What have I ever done in my life that I can say, oh my Lord, this is what I did for you. I carried this out and this was for your sake. Why should I have mercy shown to me? Why? Allah the Most High doesn't create for nothing. And we weren't put here for nothing. We was put on the earth and created for a purpose, and that we were created with a goal. Either we're individuals who carry out that purpose, or we're individuals who don't. And if we don't, then I would put it to you that if a person creates something and it does not carry out the purpose of its creation, then what would most people refer to that thing as? I would probably refer to it as a worthless creation. Personally, if I made something and it didn't work and it didn't do what it was supposed to do, I would refer to it myself as a worthless creation. And now no individual would want to refer to himself as a worthless human being, as a worthless creation. I know it may be looked upon as a morbid subject and a morbid topic, but there's nothing, you know, is there anything realer than that? Is there anything realer than the fact that we're going to die, that we're living now and we're going to pass away and we're going to die? Is there anything realer than that? And so, you know, for anybody who's talking about keeping it real, really, that's where keeping it real begins, or should begin, with that type of reflection upon a man's life. And then understand that Islam is something that is easy, and Allah the Most High has made pleasing him easy. So being an upright individual is something that is easy, it's not difficult at all. And when a person does it, you know, the quality of his life, the standard of his life changes, you know, completely. The value that he has and that his life has as it relates to himself, and the fact that he becomes a beneficial individual to others, you know, is something, and is a richness that Allah places in the heart of the believer that no money can buy. As far as whether a man can be Muslim and stay on road, then really it would depend on what we mean by staying on road. If we mean by staying on road that we're connected to the community and to our locality, to individuals that we know prior to our becoming Muslim, to people who, you know, neighbors, friends, and so on, then there's no issue with being connected in that manner, because you're a person that's from the neighborhood, you're from the surroundings. So Islam doesn't preach that a person cuts himself off, you know, and switches completely in regards to his old companions and people that he knows and is associated with. But if we mean by staying on road, staying in the game, and that a person is still, for example, you know, still a gangbanger, or that a person is still involved in some of the methods, for example, of acquiring wealth, that are not praiseworthy, or that a person is still involved in certain types of associations that Islam doesn't permit them, no. And there are certain aspects of being on road that Islam is diametrically opposed to. And when we're saying that a person, when he enters Islam and his heart changes, then that change of heart is supposed to and should manifest itself upon the limbs. وَمَا كَانَ فِي الْقَلْبِ فَلَا بُدَّ أَنْ يَظْهَرْ مُقْتَضَاهُ عَلَى الْجَوَارِحِ وَإِنْ لَمْ يَظْهَرْ دَلَّ عَلَى ضَعْفِهِ أَوْ عَدَمِهِ. That he mentions that which is in the heart, it is a must that it's going to manifest itself upon the limbs. If a person has something in his heart, and that which is truly in his heart is going to have a manifestation upon the limbs. He said if it does not manifest itself upon the limbs, then that indicates that that which is in his heart is either very weak or it don't exist at all. You know, or am I just really trying to create for myself a roadman brand of Islam? Which is that what I'm supposed to be doing? You know, so am I supposed to be creating for myself just an Islamic version of what we used to be before? And if that is the case, then have we really changed? So real change is the change of the heart, as we said. That change of the heart manifests itself upon the limbs. And if a man is real, and if a man is sincere in what he's saying and his claim to faith and belief and iman and following the prophets, then that would manifest itself upon the limbs. As I said earlier, that doesn't now mean that a person changes himself completely. He's still got his own character, same sense of humor, same persona. There are certain things that Islam allows. When Umar and those warriors came to Islam, then they changed, but they didn't change in every way. Umar was well known to still have that coarseness and that firmness that he used to have, but it was gauged in the right way. Them coming to Deen was what caused all them wars to stop, all the beef to stop. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned some of them there was beefing over stupidness, but yeah, the wars that went on for years. I mean, battles that were off the basis of something irrelevant, and Allah mentions that in the Quran. يعني واعتصموا, Allah mentions واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. Cling to the rope of Allah together and don't be divided. واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم وأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها. Allah mentions, remember the blessing of Allah upon you. And this is Allah addressing the Arabs who used to have that, who used to be beefing. Remember the blessing of Allah upon you when you was enemies. إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم, and He brought your hearts together. And trust me, we're seeing that right now. Individuals who were beefing become Muslim, and it's like, why them two love each other like they grew up together, like they were born together. Islam now, that is an exit strategy for any problem that any individual has, particularly the youths, our youths, who are involved in the whole road thing. And on a level, it was an exit strategy for brothers like me, who were in the whole of that rat race and in that whole dichotomy and that whole situation, that it was an exit strategy for individuals of the past. I mean, we had some of the wildest individuals, some of the companions of the Messenger Muhammad were some of the wildest individuals in Arabia. I mean, if you look at some of the biographies of certain individuals, the likes of Umar ibn al-Khattab, who was well known, well known for that which he was upon and the fear that he struck in the hearts of people because of what he was upon. Khalid bin Walid, that well-known warrior, again, an individual who struck fear in the hearts of the people. The lion of Islam, Hamza, individuals who are well known for taking life and well known for many of the things that some of the youth are well known for right now. And as soon as they entered into Islam, it was the exit strategy for them. Took them straight out the game, and then straight into a system that was set up and established and prepared for them, ready for them. So they came straight out of that, not just to wander blindly, but they fell straight into a system that was prepared and that was ready and set up and structured for them. They came straight out of that, straight into a brotherhood, the likes of which they themselves would never even realize existed. So faith and spirituality, there isn't really an argument. There shouldn't be an argument as to whether we should have it in our lives. It is fundamental to our lives, and it is fundamental to our change.